Hi friends, my name is Borrodante and welcome back to SCP-096. So, this is the sketch we did last time, and you friends gave a lot of info and suggestions on this one. So first of all, its folklore name is the Shy Guy, apparently because he can't stand someone seeing his face. He's shy like that. So this is definitely not a Slenderman. Slenderman has a black suit and black tentacles that's grabbing you and whatever. So there's one key mistake I made with the proportions. I paid attention to the fact that arms are really long, but I forgot that SCP itself is really tall as well, so arms won't really reach the ground like this. Instead, the body itself should be a lot longer. And also, I'm not sure I'm exactly on board with what we have here, like, the feeling is a bit like there's no actual dynamic in the shape, no message in this character. We're kind of like on its eye level, and that kills the whole idea of him being really tall. So I guess we should lower the camera like a lot and make a different sketch at all, I think. So let's start with that. I hope it's not annoying to see me redrawing stuff. I think it's kind of totally cool to do that, so let's do that. Let's make some cool blueprint kind of background. I don't know why I sometimes like to experiment with the background color for sketching. I don't know, it makes it more fun. After all, you're just working with black and white images. So why not make it a bit more interesting? So people also mentioned that it would be a good idea to show some scars and some, marks from all the attacks that this SCP survived, and also some dirt marks on the floor where the SCP is going back and forth, and on the wall as well. So we'll do that. I mean, we were definitely going to do that, but I think it's also a good idea to mark that in the sketch. Okay, I like the proportions, so I don't think we should change that. So let's see, let's draw from the elbow, or should I say from the shoulder. Someone in the comments on the recent episode of Outlandish Curiosity, where I mentioned a lot the drawing from the elbow thing, that it's really drawing from the shoulder. Well, it's kind of true, because with elbow we can only draw horizontally, like this. We can't go vertically with the elbow. It's always starting to use the shoulder. So it's kind of all three joints together working. Snake mode. Alright, let's do some grids. Just at least the horizon and such. So let's see, it's about 2.5 meters tall, as I recall. Let's actually open up the article. 2.38 meters. Okay, so that's almost 2.5. A normal person is about 1.7? I don't know, I'm taller than that. So I kind of, like a gesture sketch, I kind of want him to stand like this. And he would probably be in the corner. So it's 5 by 5 by 5 meter cell he has, made of metal. So it's a rather tall ceiling there. We probably won't see the end of it. This looks really flat. Let's spice it up somehow. Let's move closer to him and then distort the perspective a lot. So yeah, let's lower the horizon then. Yeah, let's use this bent perspective effect to emphasize his height and everything. He's like super tall dude. This is the main feature of his. Okay, so I guess something like this, and he'll be staring at us. Yeah, let's do a good sketch now. So even his ribcage is rather stretched vertically. So I switched not to just a very small line for sketching, but also use 50% flow. So now I can kind of like search in these ghostly, slightly transparent lines. Kind of a good thing to develop a more gentle and specific anatomy, like when you have to go with really precise shapes for the body. Maybe a bit higher than that. So he's slightly raising this knee, that's why it's a bit higher, and his foot will be on its toes like this. So kind of a shy pose. I think it's gonna work just great. Okay, so I remember I wanted to twist this foot like this, and that means we have to start with the knee. It should be facing that way as well, because there's only so much you can twist with the foot. Like, the main twist is happening in the first part of the limb. Same with the shoulder. You can't really rotate the elbow here. You actually do the twist here. So, really should consider that when you're twisting the limbs. Are we doing the belly button? Like, it's really hard to tell what kind of nature does this creature have. Was it born? Probably not, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't have a belly button. Ghosts are also not born, but they have a belly button because they are like an imprint of the actual human being, so belly button comes with. In this case, I don't know, it feels like it's closer to ghosts, like Paranormal Activity, sort of. And that's a science fiction way to call ghosts, I guess. So, I don't know, I feel like belly button should take place, probably. But you fronts tell me, maybe there's some info on that in the internet folklore. Ugh, one foot on top of the other this will be. This is gonna look weird and interesting. Well, we might be missing one toe, because someone is an idiot. Okay, now let's do arms. So basically he's reaching his knees with his hands. A bit lower than that even. Ooh, this is a cool way to build a hand. I don't know how, I kind of like created the basic shape, like where I want to see it. Then I thought where should be this main, like without a thumbnail, where is this area? A group of bones will be like the main palm area. So this will be into thumb, I thought. And in here, I just went ahead with defining these kind of 4 bony, like, cylinders or something, just sausages. And then I sort of like connecting them and getting this cool shape right away. Because if you start with an actual, like, rectangle or something, it's really hard to think through the cool dynamics of the hand. But this way it's kind of nicer, and then you go the same way, thinking about the position of the joints in order to create a cool dynamics and follow the geometry. So the pinky is kind of hiding away behind the ring finger, and so on and so forth, and you're getting kind of like a pretty three-dimensional hand. Only you shouldn't forget, these sausages, they end rather quickly. In here there's just a bunch of small bones stuck together. Oh yeah, this other weird thing that's always bumming me out. The skin of the fingers actually splits in the middle of the first joint. It doesn't split here, it splits way over here, in the very middle of this. We're like sea creatures or something. Gross. So literally here. It still like feels wrong when I even do it now. But apparently all this should be just kind of like shadowy fold, but not really a split. It's only a split of bones, not the split of skin. I guess that's the best part about SCP, that you can't really put a tag on it. It's not really anything. And that's the creepiest part about it. You know what ghosts are like? Well, in general, if they would be called ghosts, they would have to follow certain rules of being a ghost. But in case of SCP, it can be anything at all. Kinda cool. So the right arm is probably going to be behind the leg, since the leg is bent in the knee a little bit. Let's actually put the thumb on top. Yeah, like that. There we go. Now let's work on the head. I think we should move the knees higher though. I feel like this is too long comparing to this, especially considering that we're a lot closer to the bottom part. This one, I guess it's fair to keep it the way it is. Okay, hi there. Now, I think probably a good angle we have here. Let's give it a try. That's quite creepy. Not sure if we should make the head a bit bigger. It kinda feels like we should, but at the same time, the fact that it's small, it kinda makes him really look big. But let's give it a try. Nope, he's still big. Let's give this a go. I guess it's better than this. So wide open eyes and staring right at you always. That thing, I think we really like that, so let's keep that the way we had it in the previous version. Right, no hairs anywhere, so no eyebrows. Almost forgot. Oh my god. I kinda felt empathy for him before I did this. Nice fella. Messed up creature. Okay, I think I'm happy with this guy now. Now let's add some details for the room and call it done for this episode, and then I'll start rendering him right away for the next episode that will come tomorrow, I suppose. So metal room 5x5x5. Come on. It's so hard. Sometimes. Oh, kinda like that. Nailed it. Now, some dirt on the ground from him walking around along this wall. And I assume somewhere on the area of elbows there would also be some marks. So, some sort of metal plates screwed to the surface of these metal walls or something. That would probably make sense, right? How do you make a solid, super thick metallic wall 5x5 meters? It has to be solid, like for the security purposes. And there we go, arm woke up a bit to handle straight lines. Also, some scars on the body, I almost forgot, let's add those. Let's tone down some lines of the muscles because they're not supposed to be visible that much. Oh boy, wrinkles from the stretching. Forgetting everything. Now, I was thinking maybe let's make it a bit more volumetric, like this guy had almost, it looks almost like it's just some beard growing, unless you really look closely. So let's add some really big folds of skin somehow. Oh my god. Every time I add this, it's so creepy. Do you wanna know how I got these scars? Now we remember he was cut in half in his torso without his guts and everything, so there will be a pretty gruesome cut somewhere around here. And it's not gonna be very surgical, so I suppose there's gonna be a lot of really nasty cuts that all healed, of course. Nips! How could I forget nips? Oh, that's a cool cut. Man, as you follow all the details, it's so creepy. Let's fix the way he stares at us. Feels like he's looking a little bit to the side. Yep, there we go. Now he's actually looking at me. Good. Okay, I think I really like it. You know how I actually see it? I think it should be like actually dark and the light source should be from the camera. And his eyes are gonna be kind of like reflecting and whatever. Like the, I don't know, the horror situation, like the flashlight in the darkness. Something like that. Or the light from the opened door. Because there's no need to make light for this guy when he's inside. So I guess it's only like an extra security measure to not light up his face, I guess. So it makes sense. So it's gonna be a really dark room with this light, and we're gonna work a lot with materials, with their reflections and everything, and it's gonna be like super crucially important to work right with values. That thing that we talked about in the Overpain episode about the candy hero. So there will be like a lot more of an obvious darkening all over this area, like a long one. So it's gonna look legit. Right now I can only add some tiny bumps. Okay, cool. So yeah, this is it, I guess. Tell me what you think. Although keep in mind I'm gonna keep working on this right now, after ending this episode. So yeah, pretty cool. Let's compare it to the previous one. Well yeah, this one really, he's standing in such a weird pose, like it doesn't mean anything. Like I was a lot more concentrated on the perspective and anatomy and didn't really pay attention to the pose itself, like he's standing kind of weird. I mean, weird is sort of good, but there still should be a message. And here he's kind of standing as a solid character. You can really read the posture. So yeah. Let's fill him with one color, the way we did in the previous version as well. Did I miss? Yes, I did. Yeah, this is it. Let's fill this in. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, this is it. I'll go cook something to eat. You tell me what you think. And I thank you for watching if you did. I guess you did if you're here. Leave a like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Turn the light on. Do whatever you want. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Oh my god, I see it so cool when rendered. Like, we won't actually see his face all that much, but the reflection from his iris is gonna look so creepy. Really important to do the right values though.